Hey everyone, Reaper here again with another video. I figured I would make a short video on what comic books you might want to consider buying if you haven't already. Now, I might make a few of these videos over the course of the next few months, but I just picked out 4 books just to talk about briefly on why you might want to get them. And it's probably, to be quite honest, no real big news here. You know, I don't have any hidden gems to show you or any inside information or anything like that, but it's just, something to show. Now, before I start showing them, let me just say that I'm not necessarily saying that these books are investments, but I do think that these books I'm about to show are nice to have for those of you that just like to have cool books in your collection, and for those of you that might want to flip them, I mean, who knows. But also I want to say that these books are not necessarily affordable either, okay? I mean, obviously depending on the grade, but I think even in low grade, some of these books here, or at least half of them, 2 of them, right, half, are still kind of expensive, even in low grade. But that's up to you to decide, but I think they're pretty cool. So the first one I'm going to show you is actually a little sneak preview of a book that I'm going to show you that I initially wanted to just show in August, my amazing haul, but it's something that I don't think it can be avoided if I'm talking about a specific, this topic. And I think everybody knows about this already. We mentioned it before, or I've mentioned it before in a video. I don't remember which one, but it might be worth getting. Now here we go. The first one on the list. Amazing Spider-Man number 13. Now, I'll show this again in my Amazing haul because it's an Amazing Spider-Man book, and it's actually an upgrade for me. I upgraded this book a couple months ago, right before the announcement. Now, that leads into why I think maybe you might want to pick this book up. For those of you that are big Spider-Man fans, it's always cool to get as many Spider-Man villains or as many awesome Spider-Man arcs as you can get. And obviously Mysterio is the first appearance of a major villain. Ditko, early issue, Ditko art, definitely cool to have. The announcement is that, Mysterio, I think, is going to be in the next Spider-Man movie. Now, I'm with you when I'm saying, once the villain is out of the movie, the book tends to go down in value. Absolutely. I believe that entirely. So for those of you that, but I'm just saying, for those of you that could find it cheap, cheap is, cheap is subjective. What I might find cheap, you may not find so cheap. What you may find cheap, I may not find so cheap. If you find yourself, wondering, oh, what book should I get? And you see something that, like, if you see Amazing 13, and you think it's a good price for you, I might want to get it. You might want to get it, and whether or not you want to sell it later, or before the movie, or whatever, or keep it for your collection, that's entirely up to you. But I still think it's a pretty cool book. I've always liked Mysterio, personally. And the other Spider-Man book I want to show off, another one, this one seems to be on fire. Amazing 101. Beautiful, beautiful book. I love this cover. One of my favorite Spider-Man covers. First appearance of Morbius. Once again, there's always rumors about Morbius. Didn't Fox say that there was going to be a Morbius movie? I don't know about that. With that aside, it seems like every character is going to be in a movie nowadays, right? I mean, think about it. But all that stuff aside, it's a really cool book, and I think Morbius is a really cool character. So once again, if you can find this at a right price, if you're a Spider-Man fan and you're looking to try to fill in some gaps, wondering where to go, you might want to give Mysterio, if it's affordable for you, a shot. You might want to give Morbius a shot and go in that direction. Last 2 books I want to show. Now, I think this one's a given. This one's been rising in value. 2 Fantastic Four books. This one's been going up in value quite a bit. So that's why I said in the beginning of this video, it's not necessarily, this is not an affordable keys video. It's getting kind of expensive. But here we go. Fantastic Four number 48, the first appearance of Silver Surfer and the first cameo appearance of Galactus. Funny story about this book. My copy's a nice 5.0, 5.5 copy. Maybe with a press, a 6.0, I don't know. But the point is, a few years ago, I had purchased this book, and I was like, well, I was trying to get the first appearance of the Riddler back then, and I was like, I'm trying to sell some stuff, and this was one of the books that I was considering to sell. And And I was going to let it go really cheap too, you know, because I didn't pay that much for it, and I was going to let it go for just about what I paid just to get my money back. And a few people inquired about it, but then, you know, they were like, oh, you know, can you go lower? And I was like, well, I really can't, you know. And they're like, okay, well, thank you. And it was... So I got a little frustrated, and I said, you know what, I'll just keep it. No big deal. I like the Silver Surfer. I don't need to sell it. And boy, whoever decided not to buy this book from me, thank you very much, because I'm keeping it for my collection now, definitely. Yeah, this once again, rumors, Silver Surfer, all that stuff, going to be in a movie or whatever. You know, there's a lot of talk about books and value and all that stuff, and I contribute to it too. About, you know, oh, this is going to be in a movie, this is going to continue, this is going to get value, but it's also, that's not the only reason why you should collect, in my opinion. I mean, we collect for all different reasons. There's no right way to collect, but don't get me wrong. You know, I still think that, you know, I started collecting comic books because I like them. You know, I like the characters, and I like the stories, and I like the art and all that stuff. That's what initially got me into the hobby and kept me in the hobby. And the fact that some of these have gone up in value or continue to go up in value, that's a definite bonus, you know. And as you know, as my collecting evolves and other people's collecting evolve, you start to see those things and changes in your collecting. But don't get me wrong, even though I may mention value or all this stuff, movies, it shouldn't be the only reason why you get these if you decide to get them. You know, any big purchase is something that you really need to think about before you spend the money, you know, and just be comfortable with it, because sometimes you get buyer's remorse, okay? Last one, Fantastic Four. I think everyone knows about this one. A lot of talk about Adam Warlock, probably going to be in the next Guardians movie. Here I go, talking about movies again. But, you know, it's honestly, movies are really what drives a lot of the value in some of these books. I mean, not all of it, of course. Comic books were always valuable, or always cost a decent amount of money. But within the last decade, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, a lot of these books that you never thought about, have just spiked in value. And true, sometimes if you're patient, they go down in value. I think the Mysterio will go down in value, as will others. So sometimes just being patient can pay off for you. If you really, really like this book, if you're like saying to yourself, hey, you know, I really would like to get the first appearance of Mysterio. Not necessarily because he's going to be in a movie or whatever, because I like the character, I like Ditko art, but I'm not going to pay for that book now. Well, then you might want to wait until after the movie, and you might be able to get a better deal. That goes the same for a lot of different books that I've showed in previous videos and so forth. Well, thank you for watching. I might come out with another one of these videos, so pull out maybe 4 more. I'll try to keep it short, like under 10 minutes. I'm just a little over 8 minutes right now. But if you have any other things you would like me to talk about, you could always send me a comment. I'll see what I can do. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you soon. Take care, everyone.